Ni hao, 我是Jacker, Gong Xi Fa Cai. I'm an Aussie expat living in Malaysia, and in this video, I'll show you how I celebrated Chinese New Year. Holidays and cultural celebrations absolutely go off in Malaysia, and Chinese New Year is no exception. From Ang Pau's awesome outfits to special food, dragon shows, and snakes, it's an exciting time. It's probably one of my favorite holidays here in Malaysia. I love the lights, the colors, and the auspicious energy. It's all about prosperity, good food, health, and wealth. Let's get right into it. What is Chinese New Year? It's celebrated around the end of January and the beginning of February, and it marks the start of the Chinese zodiac calendar. It's big on getting the family together and celebrating as a community. This year, I was lucky enough to be invited to my girlfriend's family reunion dinner to celebrate an authentic Chinese New Year Eve. We went to Claypot Seafood, which is one of my favorite authentic Chinese restaurants right near TRX. TRX is such a good location here in Kuala Lumpur because you get the amazing modern luxury mall complex surrounded by the authentic history and traditional food closer to Bukit Bintang. You truly get the best of both worlds in this area of KLCC. Outside the restaurant, you'll see this amazing plate of all these different interesting colors and ingredients. What is it? It's a Yee Sang or a prosperity toss. I'll show you what it's like in a little bit, but first, here we have one of the newest additions to the family.
Look, you'll be on YouTube. Oh, he's shy. He's shy. He can be in the next vlog.
He's having his first proper Chinese New Year, so I wish him all the best for his future. He's not mine, but it was a good chance to practice my uncle's skills. This is the Yee Sang. You do it before you eat the rest of the meal. We all stand around the plate and you use your chopsticks to toss all the ingredients together. The little guy even got involved too. You say some auspicious phrases throughout it. It's basically a tradition to wish good luck for the new year. Prosperity, health, happiness. So if you're in Malaysia at Chinese New Year, you have to do this. And honestly, it's quite tasty. You got the vegetables, a bit of crunch and some meat. Although it can be quite expensive, it is worth it if you get the salmon. It's pretty delicious and it's a good way to start a meal like an entree. Just save room for the main course. Before you can eat a Chinese meal, you have to prepare the herbal tea. Most drinks are iced in Malaysia because it's so hot and humid. People want cool drinks, and elders go first. It is like other Asian cultures where you pay respect to those older than you, and particularly married couples as well. We'll touch on that later. The main dish is hot pot, so we're going to be putting all these herbs and chicken and the meat and boiling it in a nice herbal soup so it tastes absolutely delicious. On the side, we've got some vegetables, pork, beef, shabu shabu, some clams, and of course rice. You toss the meat around the soup for a few seconds and it really gets infused with those awesome herbal flavors. You can also just drink the soup as it is, or you can eat some of the herbs with the meat as well. If you're in Malaysia, you've absolutely got to try one of these authentic hot pots because it tastes great and it's reasonably priced. So you can just keep drinking and drinking. It will fill you up for sure. This is the bill. It was 571 ringgit for 7 people, including the baby. The Yee Sang itself was 118 ringgit. So you're looking at about 100 ringgit per person for a nice Chinese New Year dinner in Kuala Lumpur. When we left the restaurant around TRX and the neighboring Bukit Bintang, we started hearing fireworks. This was about 9 p.m. at this point. After checking out some fireworks, we went back to TRX Mall and we went to Cebu, which has Inside Scoop. This is delicious ice cream. It's one of the best chains in Malaysia and it's Malaysian owned. So make sure you support Inside Scoop. It actually is the best. Also really interesting is next to it, there were some Japanese strawberries at these ridiculous prices. Cool to look at, but I wouldn't recommend buying that. Stick to the ice cream at Inside Scoop for dessert. Another feature of Chinese New Year is the Ang Paus or the red pockets. Now these are only given by married couples to younger couples or offspring. And I was lucky enough to receive 3 because there were 3 married people at the dinner. So sheshe ni for those. You'll also see that a lot of the Ang Pau packets are branded. Lots of brands will give these out for free when you order food or anything else leading up to Chinese New Year. The idea is that it's a form of advertising that when you give away the branded Ang Pau to someone else, they see the brand. That's not all. A few days later, we were invited to a friend's get together at their landed house and it was pretty explosive. This was down in Kajang, which is about half an hour south with no traffic of Kuala Lumpur. And it was really cool to see an authentic landed house in a Chinese suburban area. So here, of course, we did the Yee Sang again, but this one got a lot more crazy. We had the chants, the auspicious phrases going louder and louder.
一帆風順，身體臨門，三陽開泰，四季平安，五福臨門，六大順運來，升高起，八面玲瓏，九九同心，十全十美。
You'll also see the kids involved, and one of the younger ones got a little bit overwhelmed. It was a bit too auspicious for him to handle.
Oh, he couldn't handle it.
Don't call baby.
I thought it was funny at first, but actually he got very overwhelmed. So I hope he's okay and the good luck comes his way this year. This is the part of the celebration that's really different here in Malaysia. It's the fireworks at home. Borderline legal, but it's definitely accepted at celebrations to play with fireworks out in the street. You can buy all these different types of fireworks, and I wasn't sure what they all were by looking through the bag here. This is definitely not something you can do in Australia. It was outlawed decades ago, so it's very cool for me to have this experience here in Malaysia. Now before that, we have to eat. We actually got Thai food for dinner. It's a bit of tom yum, a bit of mixed vegetables and fried meat. While we're having dinner, I saw the kid busted watching girls on TikTok. So Malaysian kids are just like everywhere else. Good on him. Now it's time for the fireworks. We literally just go out in the street, get some lighters, set up a candle, and everyone just went for it, including the kids. I do think you need to be careful with safety, of course, but everything went well. We started with the big sparklers. These are pretty cool. They're like the small ones you put on a birthday cake, but they're much bigger, and you can wave them around and make cool shapes.
Gong Xi Fa Cai.
I really enjoyed these. Now they're not really fireworks, but they're quite interesting. You just grab a bunch and you throw them against the ground. They explode, make a popping noise. These are probably the safest ones you could be using. Now these are next level.
What is that?
They also had these Harry Potter fireworks that look like a wand.
What the?
Obviously this one you have to be super careful with and not point it at anyone. But at the end, even the little kid had a go, so it's fun for the whole family. I'll need to give these to Daryl next time to take to platform 9 3/4. Other people around this area were also letting off fireworks, and it was a Thursday night, so a lot of Chinese take off the whole week to celebrate Chinese New Year. They certainly weren't getting much sleep at this time. These fireworks are awesome. They're little UFO spinners. You put them on the ground, light them, and they fly off into the air. I think they looked really cool and the kids really enjoyed that. Time for the big guns. Look at this. You just put it on the ground and it fires off into the air. These are legit fireworks and have everyone in the neighborhood able to see this. So if you're looking for a way to compensate for your shortcomings this Chinese New Year, you can buy these ones and show off as much as you want. Obviously, I was super impressed by all these fireworks. It was a totally new experience for me and I loved it.
What the?
I was told the total cost of everything that was set off this evening was about 1,000 ringgit, which is about $250. It's not super cheap, but it was a good night. Everyone got involved and we all had fun. This big cracker was the finale. We actually had to move the cars out of the way to make sure there was enough room. You set it off with the lighter and it just goes bang, 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 bang. Check it out. It left some residue that will need to be cleaned up, but again, totally worth it. Chinese New Year is different from the traditional Western New Year because they celebrate for weeks and weeks. We have another Chinese New Year celebration at work at our office in about a week's time, and they've asked me to host the event. I hope you liked this video and it gave you a little bit of a different perspective of how we celebrate over here in Malaysia. Subscribe for more videos about life in Malaysia, and I'll see you in the next one.